So I said I'd give you a 2024 review. And as Dad's here for the next week or so, he's just nipped to Costa. I've quickly run down the stairs. I mean, I haven't. So how did we start off this year? We started off this year in a relationship, an ongoing diagnosis test for ME, my Auntie Lucy, is on my mum's side, finding out that she was terminal with liver cancer, and mental health being an absolute and we started our journey coming off painkillers. So that was all January of carrying on from last year. So February, beginning of February, my mum took a lot of trips down to my auntie, because we haven't, in the town that we live in, we haven't got any family. Literally, it's just us lot. So my auntie passed, I think it was the 9th, 10th of Feb. I remember it being, my mum was down there seeing her the day before, and she was getting worse and worse. But we had my niece's birthday party, so my mum came up for that, and no one's going to go down the day after, but she didn't make it down. So, yeah, obviously we came. I was like, I wasn't mega close to my mum's side of the family. I mean, they lived 2 hours away. We saw them every so often, but after my nonna passed, it was less and less. And then got prescribed naproxen for my sevicogenic headaches, which I still struggle with now. And also, my antidepressants got increased. So that was how bad my mental health was. March, I can't recall anything major happen. The doctor was letting me decrease my painkillers at my kind of pace. I think March might have been when we went to look at scooters. So April came around. My brother-in-law is like a big kid at Christmas if you give him something to build, something DIY-ish. So him, my dad, and my nephew's slight input, because my nephew was only 6 at the time, built my scooter shed, which I don't think I've ever shown you guys, but it's massive. It was a long thing, so all my sister's lot came over. We had McDonald's, they built the shed, we went outside, we went to the park, we did a whole thing. But it was mainly down to my dad and my brother-in-law. I cut out a lot more painkillers in April. My ME diagnosis was confirmed. So it was confirmed a couple of days before a family get together for my grandma's 97th birthday. So I didn't want to take away from it by announcing it there, but I did actually announce it to my auntie and uncle, who my auntie I have a really close relationship with. But my mum didn't know for ages after that. May was the month my dreams came true. And there was a bit of an uplift with my mood because my dream came true. And my dream was getting my scooter. Now, as a 37-year-old, having the ability scooter as my dream was kind of like a bit of edge sword, because it meant I had more independence, but at the same time it was like, this is my life now. I did document it on here, with lots of people being happy for me, but lots of criticism, trolls, and that kind of dampened my experience of it, and I didn't go out on it for a couple of weeks because I was just like... So eventually, end of May, beginning of June, I started to go out on it, and I will be going out on it a lot more next year. June, if you remember, I had a mouth abscess, and it was so we had antibiotics, and then we had the tooth out. I made, between May and June, I made a big kick-off moment, because I can, about not being included on family days. I had my scooter, there was no reason why I couldn't be. So I got invited to a few more. I mean, it's never going to be equal, but you know. July came on the sun, which means my pain levels go down dramatically. We had my hair cut, a salon day actually, before I went to Alex's mum's. I start my Christmas prep early. I started in July. But this year didn't go to plan in any aspect, and we ended up stressing towards the end. And then August, another family thing going on. So my brother-in-law's nan was diagnosed, I want to say with cancer, like last year, end of last year. I mean, she was in her 80s. And she chose against any treatment. So it comes to August, and we are all just helping each other out wherever we can. She was getting worse. And normally on a Friday, my sister and my brother-in-law work, so my sister's in-laws have the kids. And they were like, we need to be at mum's extra. And my dad doesn't work Fridays. So he was like, well, we'll have the kids. My dad went to pick them up at 10 o'clock in the morning from my brother-in-law's work. Brought them here, and I was like, right, let's get them some food, let's get them this. And they were fine. They know that I have craft areas galore, so... And it was sunny, we went to the park, and she was so thankful for us having the kids because it helped her out loads. I don't know if I'm going to need a part 2. I feel like I am. So we'll stop speed talking. And my nephew was so understanding. I was like, right, we made cards for their nanny. And my nephew, bless him, because he'd turned 7 by this point. No, yes, he had turned 7 by this point. And I was like, do we need envelopes? And he's like, no, Auntie Polly. And I was like, oh, really? And he goes, she's forgetting a lot of how to do things and stuff. And I think if we write her an envelope, she's not gonna know what to do with an envelope, whereas I know how to open it. I was like, okay. So, and my sister's mother was like, how have you got the patience to do this? I was like, I did it before, it's fine. And then we're gonna skip to a part 2. It's gonna happen. I'm sorry. I talk too much. A lot's gone on this year. Right, so I think it was end of August, somewhere in August, we went to Alex's mum's for a few days. Now, I've always found it hard. And you guys know I've spoken about loads. I always find it hard being away from home. It doesn't matter where it is. Whether it's at my mum's for 5 hours on Boxing Day and 2 days later we're already struggling. I get overwhelmed by a lot of noises going on, a lot of things going on. I'm just like, people just sit still. I even do it to my dad. I'm like, right, sit still for just 5 minutes. So I always find it hard, and I hated that I found it hard because I really did like Alex's family. But his mum didn't sit still, and we had to. It was like cramming a week's worth of stuff in like 2 days, and I was just like, and then that upset me that I couldn't enjoy it. And then we hit September, and my niece started school. I mean, she was well ready for it. God bless that school. She's my little diva. And when I say she's a little diva, she's a little diva. I'm looking forward to her hitting puberty and my sister hitting menopause. And then end of September, the kid's great nanny died. Like I said to my brother-in-law's mum, I was like, anything. Like, obviously I can't get them, but they only live like 15 minutes away from us. I was like, if you need to drop them off here, we've always got some kind of food in. I can order in. We've got stuff to entertain them. We've got a park on our front doorstep. I was like, just let us know. And so me and my dad had said from that point where we had them in August, like, anything the next few weeks, we can have a plan, but the plan might have to change. And it's always hard for me, but I was like, when it comes to family, I'm going to do it. Anyway, she passed. And I was great because at family occasions, like, me and her weren't mobile. I mean, she's 80 odd. I'm in my 30s. But, you know, and we both actually found out that we both had epilepsy. So she would be the one that I would always go and talk to at family parties. And my dad always used to say, right, where do you want to sit? Where am I putting you back? And I was like, with Betty. And she was amazing. And I sent them a card when Dad did the school run. And Mel was like, thank you for the card. Owen. Joe says thank you as well, and how even till her final days we were going great. She was saying how much she loved your conversations and stuff. So that kind of helped me. And me and my dad didn't go to the funeral. We took the kids. We got the kids from the school early and took them to the wake. And did it that way. And that was easier for me because otherwise it'd have been a very long day. And then October was a bitch of a month. Like, I had appointments left, right, centre. There wasn't a week in October where I either wasn't on holiday or didn't have a medical appointment. And I made sure I wanted to see Granny because obviously she's 97. She's getting more and more frail. And things are getting more and more limited. And then me and Alex had our second anniversary on the 18th of October. And I was busy Christmas card making because then we had a holiday coming up at the end of October. Now, this holiday did not go to plan, and this hasn't been spoken about much. There's a reason why there's not a lot of videos or pictures of our holiday. Day one was tiring because we were travelling. Day two, I got very overwhelmed about it being so busy and stuff. I ended up crying when we got back to the apartment. Day three, someone chose their behaviour to be so uncharacteristic that I didn't recognise that person. And then that was the downfall from there, which I will get on to. So, we came back on Halloween. And behaviours were still bizarre. And like, my dad is a very laid back person. For him to come to me and was like, what's going on? And then, so I flied after the holiday. And I'd already booked all my appointments to be after the first week of November, because I was like, I don't want to see a soul. Literally do not want to see a soul. Yes, my dad lives with me, but I don't want to see a soul. And unfortunately, someone's communication skills went out the window. And apparently, if you don't plan to see someone that week, they don't need to know your work pattern, your work shifts. Because it doesn't matter if they can message you at work or whatever. Anyway. So things went awry. Me and Alex went awry. He changed as a person. I don't, to this day, I'm like, what? Me and him split up middle of November. I told a few people because I didn't want it to come up on lives. I'm sure a lot of you have worked it out by now. But, yeah. I mean, I'm quite happy to answer any questions. He is blocked. Not because he is out of my life. We ended as friends, but there's no reason. And I wanted to speak highly is not the word. Clearly, from my perspective of how everything made me feel, I felt shit. We had a 3-hour conversation about things. And although it was kind of a mutual decision, a lot of it was me led, because I realised I was worth more. And that maybe we weren't on the same boat, never mind the same chapter. And then, on a more positive note, well, it's not positive, I was telling myself all along that I was going to see a proper dentist who I trusted, as almost like a self-care thing to get back to me. And so they were started in November. I had one in November, one in December. Now I'd have to go back to the dentist for 6 months. So yeah. And then December's just been a bit of a shit show, to be honest. And we're now ending the year. Hopefully it's back in place by then, but we're ending the year with a really bad back. And it's got cold, which could make things 10 times worse. But yeah, that's my year in 20 minutes. I'm sorry you had to sit through 20 minutes of it. But ask any questions you want if you want. I'm an open book, you guys know that.